I heard gunshots went off. So this was my first time experiencing like being so close to gunshots. Like I've heard gunshots before, but that was my like first time being so close to it. And it was unexpected. So of course I was just there wondering like, what's going on? The taxi that brought us around there was waiting on us too. The taxi drove to pick us up while we were running off. And then, people were running towards wherever the shots were being fired. And we were just trying to get out of the community itself. I can remember like saying like, God, what is this? Like, what's going on? What's happening? And then, bullet holes just coming through it's coming through the rear window because it was like shots were coming from behind. And then I got shot in the back of the left arm. Few fragments hit the right arm, and then I got shot in the back, the left shoulder, the head, and the last one I remember is the one that fractured my arm, which now, basically gave me like severe nerve damage, and I had to have a couple surgeries done to, get back some of my motor skills. But yeah, I spent 21 days in the hospital. I did 2 surgeries, one on my arm and one to remove the shots from inside. And yeah.
Mr. Rohmearo was referred to me because he was told he had a bullet fragment in his eye and he couldn't see out of his eye. Our department handles these specialized situations, these trauma situations that a lot of times can't be handled elsewhere. The bullet went into his orbit meaning the bony structures around the eye. And he was shot, and the initial impact actually was below the eyeball, but the bullet hit the bone underneath the eyeball, and then part of that bullet ricocheted into the eyeball. So we did the first surgery, which was the cataract extraction with intraocular lens placement, and lo and behold, he improved significantly even after the first surgery. After the second surgery, it was really like a miracle that judging from where he was before we operated on him, he was really not able to see anything, and his role as an artist was gone essentially, and he was depressed and he longed for what he had. And after the surgeries, he really came back fully. It was 2020, and it was really a miracle seeing him before and after. Especially considering he got shot and the bullet fragment was in the eye.
It's amazing. Like, I can still see it on my left eye now. I mean, it's a little blurry sometimes, but the damage of where I'm coming from, I mean, it's a blessing that, anyone can actually like do something like that. So I have like a high regard for doctors, even before this, but now it's like the respect for everyone's craft, no matter how big or small. I used to always respect everyone's craft, but like now I have a high regard for like just the medical feeling,
The other thing about Rohmearo that's interesting is that he's right-handed dominant. So he was shot multiple times in the abdomen, of course, and as well as his right arm, which left him, probably as you have heard, a significant deficit in that right arm, and being a right-handed painter, that presented quite a challenge for him. Yeah, he came in complaining of issues with the colostomy. Plus, he was having a lot of pain, he was having difficulty movement, he couldn't get on with the activities of normal living. The colostomy itself was an issue. Plus, he was having pain in that area. So things didn't heal. He had a little bit of a bulge. He also had the site of the stoma. So his abdominal wall was not tight, not like you would expect in a 25-year-old. Plus, intra-abdominally, he had a lot of scarring that we had to take down. We had to find the other end of his colon to hook up the colon correctly. And then we had to do a reconstruction of his abdominal wall. Now, in the fact that it was a colon surgery, it's not like we could throw a lot of mesh in, So he subsequently needed a second surgery to completely correct the abdominal wall defects, which he had about 2 years later, but he had that done robotically.
He removed the bag and repaired the intestine it was like a loop. So he had that loop connected, and I think they stitched the inside part and left the outside part open. So I had to have a wound vac machine connected to my stomach to like pull fluid and, blood and all that stuff while closing the wound together so that it would heal without having any infection.
When Rohmearo first came into the office, he wasn't quite ready for surgery yet. It's really hard to assess nerve injuries at a single point in time. So the first thing we needed to do was assess where he was on that time spectrum. Were his nerves improving? Were they lost forever? Unfortunately, one of the nerves in the hand that was affected, the radial nerve, has a very poor recovery rate. But we were all hopeful. And the first thing we did was put him into some therapy to get everything moving, to see what stiffness we could work out of his elbow, keep his fingers supple, and we got some nerve studies to assess his function. Despite the fact that he wasn't able to use his right hand, he looked at it as I'm not able to use it yet. And he was very, very positive about the whole thing. He was not able to paint and care for himself the way he wanted to, and was coming to the office to see if there was something we could do to help him. We, both Rohmearo and I, were thrilled with his results. I was very pleased last time he came into the office. He showed me his most recent art installation, all of which he was able to do with his right hand. So that was really our goal, to get him back to doing what he loved the most. And while he had he taught himself to paint with his left hand, obviously restoring his dominant hand to him was very gratifying.
I'm super grateful for all the doctors, not just like Dr. Hirsch or Dr. McNellis or Dr. Slechter, but they're like so many really cool doctors here. One of them are like, his name is Mark. He's the one who helped with like my physical therapy after I did my nerve surgery back in 2023.
One day he comes in and he's got his mother and his aunt with him, and he's got this bag, and like, I didn't pay attention to the bag. It was a big red bag. And we do the exam, and we're about to leave, and he goes, he stands up like he's giving a speech. He goes, Doc, I have to say something. Sure, what's up? And he sort of says, I'm not good at public speaking. Now, there were only like 4 of us in the room. Mm-hmm. He goes, I'm not good at public speaking, but I want to, on behalf of me and my family, I want to thank you. And I believe it was his mother hands me this bag, and I pull out this painting of me. And it was good. But here's what was really remarkable about it. Remember, I said before he was right-hand dominant. He's got his function back now, thankfully. And he was more of an abstract artist. But he painted this with his left hand. Now, I can't sign my name with my left hand, but his mother said it took him 2 weeks. So for 2 weeks, he was painting this portrait of me with his left hand. And I have it in my office. It will not leave the office.
I'm super grateful to be able to have gotten the chance to not just come to the United States, but to find myself on the doorsteps of Jacobi Medical. And I'm super grateful for like all the doctors, not just like Dr. Hirsch or Dr. McNellis or Dr. Slechter, but they're like so many really cool doctors here. For me personally, it was like a dream that I never thought would have happened, because I came from Jamaica. I was living in Jamaica. To find myself in the States and find myself getting this kind of care, especially here, it's a blessing, And I'm super grateful for what not only the doctors have done, but Jacobi Medical in general, because they're the ones who actually stepped up and say, hey, we're gonna help. And, you know, I'm super grateful for that.